Hello, Seymour here with a weekly update. You're joining me on my morning walk. I say that like it happens every day. It has not been happening enough recently. So in addition to the COVID haircut here, we've got I wish I could say it was a COVID bump happening down there, but it's been going on for a little longer than that. But anyway, we're back out on the walk this morning. And I wanted to give you an update on something that's happening over this weekend and then something that's happening over the coming months. Before I do that, I just wanted to respond to what it should be been writing in over the last couple of updates. The last update I did was a tour of the little green screen studio that we have set up. And you might say, why are you not doing it from the green screen studio? Now, it's a fair question. I was just out on this walk and suddenly felt I wanted to say a few words. So I'm recording it here. This is just on an iPhone. They're using iPhones to record TV shows at the moment because of COVID. Anyway, it's got a great reaction to the green screen update from a couple of weeks ago. The one before that was an announcement that which I'm really proud of, that we've now planted 250,000 trees as part of the promise we make is for everyone who, every pre-order of a charger, we plant a tree. Those of you who ordered the Pro Kit, many of you, we've planted double the number of trees because you were kind enough to pre-order quickly. And we got this astonishing number of emails back from people who were grumpy, who were in the middle of the COVID crisis, right? In the middle of, with this project that is inordinately harder and more complicated than we had thought and than any of our much more clever and experienced partners had thought. People were kind of grumpy that we had fulfilled an obligation to plant the trees. So I know that isn't you, but just in case any of those people are watching, I don't think this is the right project for you to be sticking with. We promised back at the beginning, essentially two things. There are lots of really lousy chargers around. The world doesn't need any more lousy chargers. We're going to do something really special and we're going to take the trouble to get it right. That's turned out to be really hard, so we're sticking with that promise. We could have shipped something average or bad a long time ago, but we're determined to do it right. You're safe, you're protected, you paid with your credit card. They're looking after you. Huge amounts of the money that you gave to us is sitting with the credit card companies to protect you. So that's the deal. The other obligation was that we said for everybody who pre-orders we'll plant a tree, and we've executed on that a huge number of trees. So I'm really proud of what we've done and what we're doing. And if you don't feel like that, then this isn't the right project for you to be involved with and to be sticking with. And I say that with love in my heart. If you don't choose to stick with us, then I completely get it. I really do get it. But for the vast majority of people who love what we're doing and support what we're doing and see the vision and believe it's important to do something special, thank you so much. From the bottom of my heart, we really, really appreciate it. By the way, I'm not out of breath from walking down this bit of the hill. It's because it's quite steep on the other side and I started recording at the top. I should have taken a few extra minutes to catch my breath. All right. So, two pieces of clothing here. This hat and this jacket. And they represent something cancelled, something not cancelled. This jacket has even got my name embroidered on it here. There's a crazy friend of mine called Ben, has a company that does the security at a lot of the airports around the world. Maybe, I don't know, if I forget the exact number, it's like 12, 15, maybe he's growing, so maybe 20 or so by now. Including some big airports like London Heathrow. I grew up in North London, so I know Heathrow well. Because when you go to the airport, you go through security, but then you buy an orange juice on the other side, and the orange juice also went through security. So there's this huge operation that none of us ever see. Anyway, he has a company that does that. You can imagine how busy they are at the moment. Plus, it's not very safe to travel. So he has a little gathering every year in Texas, a group of friends get together. He's had to cancel it. So love goes out to Ben. And thank you for this jacket that he gave me. He gave those of us who attended last year. He's a crazy guy. You get an embroidered jacket when you go to his party. If the sound just changed, I just moved my hand off of this side over to this side. All right. So he's had to cancel it. Now this hat is from a live event that I was going to be attending a few weeks ago. a 3-day event called PLF Live. I'll tell you about it in a second. And this hat just arrived in the mail yesterday, along with a kind of a little pen and a notepad and so on, because they've taken this event and they've moved it completely online, which is a major effort, because it was due to be, I don't know what the exact numbers were. If I were to guess, it was around 1,000 people was going to be in a hotel room, and now they're doing it all online. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. They've said what just happened is that one of my AirPods fell out, and therefore it stopped the recording of the video. PLF Live was postponed by a few weeks so that they could move it from a hotel room to online, because it's actually if you're already set up to do a live event, right, doing one online is complicated, because how does it all work, and how do you have breakout rooms, and what's registration look like? So they had to build this whole system. It's happening this weekend. It's a great effort. I'm going to attend it, but for many folks who are watching this, because of the circumstances we have in the world at the moment, I know from the emails, I was going to say the letters, because we don't really get very many letters these days, but for the emails and the tickets that you've been sending into customer service, so many folks are now looking at what I do with my own skills and my own business, so that I'm more self-reliant when we come out of the other side of this thing. And PLF, I've known about for a few years. We used some of its principles when we originally announced MAGFAST a few years ago. And we're going to go study the exact thing. Now, PLF stands for Product Launch Formula. It's a misleading name in some ways, because it's really just launch formula. Folks have used it to successfully launch trainings and books and physical products and yoga classes and all kinds of different things. So really, no matter what business you're in, and by the way, I don't know Jeff, I'm not on a commission or anything, I just think it's really interesting and impressive work. So there's a thing going on this weekend. I'm going to let you know how it is, but I have read the book. I've actually attended some of his stuff in the past, but I've read the book Launch, and if there's any part of you that is saying, you know what, I want to, be starting my own thing, or reinvigorating your own thing once we come out of the other side of this, or if you think that any time in the future you may want to develop your skills as a business person, I think it's really worth checking out. So the book is called Launch, Jeff Walker, Jeff Walker. The event is over this weekend. I'll let you know about it on the other side, but we're going to use the principles to do something very special a little bit later this year as we get closer to shipping. So thanks for checking this out. I have a feeling that I haven't been looking at the camera the whole time, so I apologize for that. I'm trying to kind of walk and not stumble over things. I also have a habit of looking away from the camera when I'm thinking. So thanks for bearing with me. Love you. Thanks for sticking with us. And I'll see you next week.